Hi, it's County, and I'm playing PoE 2, like you. And I play Stormweaver, Spark, and I have a pretty good build, and a lot of people on the Discord I'm hanging out try to replicate it. So I decided to make a guide also yesterday in my stream. Someone joined and asked about the build. Okay, first, this is just for information. This is not a cutted video. I will just talk through it. If you want to know something or want to look at something closer, then please pause the video. I try to keep this pretty short and quick. So yeah, we don't have to waste time on a good build and talking about 20 or 30,000 different things. And yeah, I stop here and now I start with the build. Okay, so first off, I want to tell you or to teach you about the stat priority on the Stormweaver Spark. So on the first order is plus all spell or lightning skill gems. You can get this on your wand or your staff, depends on what you're playing currently. I mean, a staff is pretty good for the early game until you reach maps because it's cheaper and it provides you, and you only have to get one item instead of two items. And early on, energy shield and stuff, it doesn't matter. So just damage and go through the campaign. And you can get it on the focus as well. The the thing here is you can only get plus all spell skills on the focus, but you can get plus lightning spells or plus spell skills on the wand. This is a big note you should take when you look up items on the trade page, and don't look for like only lightning spells or only spell skills. You can use the count option to filter between both of those. And if you want me to make a video about trading and how you can save money and use the tool correctly, then yeah, just leave a like. Okay, so that's for the wands. You can also get this on a corruption or also an amulet, but I talk about the amulet on the very end here. So the second stat you want to prioritize on your spark is cast speed, because as more you can cast, as more sparks will fly around. So currently I'm sitting around this cast speed here. My mana isn't fixed pretty well, so I need some mana regeneration, but my build also requires a bit of brain, a bit of movement, a bit of understanding of an MMO, and not just doing this. I mean, if you do this in your maps the whole time and ask me why you die or don't do good damage or something like that, or you're too slow, then yeah, you need to know how to play. And there are some tricks I can teach you, which will boost your map clear speed and your experience with this class much higher. Okay, but let's go back to the stats. So cast speed, it's a stat. You can get it on the wand, like here. You can get it on your focus, as here. You can get it on rings, but then we talk about like 10 or 20 divines items. It's pretty expensive because I'm also playing Magic Find, like increased rarity of items found. That's we call Magic Find in PoE 1 and 2. So it basically boosts your chance to drop higher tier items, and with the quant mechanic on the waystones and maps, you can get like on the tablets and maps, you can get like pretty good drops, and also like 2 to 3 divines an hour. Yes, that's I will talk about that on the end maybe. This is not a farming guide. It's just to showing you that I can reach like my 150 to rarity currently. And with this, I can easily farm like 2 to 3 divines an hour if I spam the maps. Okay, let's go back to the stat priority if you want to improve your build. Next thing you want to look up is spell damage and mana, because your mana is basically your HP, because you transform it with your skill tree. So in your skill tree, I will show it after this. You basically say that before your life gets hit, your mana will get hit. So that's why I also say I have like a high EHP because of my energy shield and of my mana. And yes, I am on 16k EHP because of something I will show after I finish the stat priority for the spark. So spell damage and mana, it goes like hand in hand. It just boosts your damage and also your tankiness if you get mana. So this is something you want to prioritize as needed. And if you have the currency for it, probably if you start with like one divine, you will only be able to get like +3 or 4 lightning spell or spell skills, and you get like a decent cast speed and also like spell damage and probably some mana. But if you want higher mana, higher spell damage, and then like mana regeneration or intelligence, it's getting pretty expensive at this point. So settle your things a bit down and try to get those things you currently able to afford. Okay, and then we talk about like int and spirit. Like intelligence is such a great skill. It gives you mana over your with this. Yeah, it says that you get 2 mana for 1 intelligence, and this is like straight up damage boost and stuff like this. And also, okay, that's about int. Let's talk about spirit. Because currently I'm running a setup where I'm using Grim Feast. And Grim Feast says that I can double or like overcap my energy shield to the double. So that means currently I'm having 5,200 energy shield. If I'm picking up those little mists on the floor, I can cap my energy shield up to 10,000, which with my mana gives me an EHP from about like 16k. And this is huge and provides you from like any skill shot. And that's why you don't need like big or capped resistance for this build. My resistance will get even worse, but I will tell you why in just a second. So that's why you want like a chest with at least 40 spirits on it, and then like mine with intelligence, 2 resistance, and like a high energy shield. My energy shield is kind of bad, but I'm over 5k and I'm not close to dying if I'm not playing completely garbage in the maps. So it's completely fine and such great. So for the next, like mana regeneration. You get the most of it from your skill tree. There's a couple of nodes, like down here. There are some big ones. I will talk about the skill tree in just a second, just to show you. But in terms of gear, you get your mana regeneration over your rings, and then you need to quarter, and then you need to increase the quality of it with the neutral catalysts to get the percentage higher from your mana and increase mana regeneration. Because now you maybe ask, okay, why is there no cast speed on? I tell you, it's huge expensive to get like mana, increased rarity on the prefix and suffix, mana regeneration, and cast speed. It's like we're talking about 20, 30 divines items, and I'm currently at a state where this is like my next improvement. My current build is worth, I think, 40 to 50 divines, and now every piece I upgrade will cost, like one piece will cost about 20 to 30 divines. So it's just getting expensive to get like this min-maxing going. Sorry for my little hesitation. I'm kind of nervous about making this video, not to show myself or so, but it's a long time. So let's go and continue this. mana regeneration. You get this here, and also you can get it on the wand or on the focus, and on your amulet. And this is the next point I want to talk about, because this build has a must-have item to actually work, and it's the Azure amulet over here. You can see mine is at 30% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield. If I take this off, I have 0 energy shield, and I would completely rely on my mana to save me, and then I spend it, and I get 1 hit, and I'm done. So, because I show you something else in the skill tree. Because when we skill one node, it's Eldritch Battery. If we turn this off, we actually have energy shield about like 5k or so, 6k. But we have less mana, which means we have less damage on our spark. So we need Eldritch Battery to actually have more mana, and then we need the Azure Amulet to actually have Energy Shield. So that's the combo. And trust me, it's worth to pay 3 divines for this, because the 30%, you need the 30% because every single percent gives you like 250 energy shield. And yeah, at one point you just want to get tankier to not die in the maps. Also, I have Lightning Rod as an anointment on it. You can find this on the skill tree on the bottom. It basically says lightning rod, your lightning damage with non-critical hits is lucky. And because lightning damage has like a huge range where it can deal the damage. So when I show this, it says, where is it? Lightning damage, it's 1,000 to 23,000. And this node basically says that this number, which will hit the enemy, will roll twice. So in the first round, you get like 1,000 damage. In the second round, you get a 20,000. So you're gonna deal the 20,000 damage. And it's a huge anointment, but it costs 12 divines. So just to talk about that. Okay. For the gear pieces, I play with rarity to just drop more items. And I talked about the first must-have. The second must-have is the Endurity utility belt. It's basically a unique belt. I have it over here. You can look at it, and it says increased bonus gained from equipped rings. So your rings are your most damage increase when you get this belt. You don't want to upgrade anything else except your rings before when you hit this belt, because you get like 80% more of it. But this is a huge invest. This costs 50 divine on 80%. You get 77 divine, 77% for around 30 divine currently. It's a huge invest, but it gains a lot of damage, because you have to imagine, with this item, I tested it, I can boost my rarity I currently have on my spark, like the 152 to 210 with a 77% pitch. And I also get more mana. I get more mana regeneration, which means I can cast more and have more effective HP, because when I have more mana and higher mana regeneration, I'm always having more life, because mana in our situation is life. And this is like the next huge upgrade. Then you want to upgrade rings, then wands, and then other gear pieces. Also, I'm playing with this charm because I'm greedy as fuck and I want to loot a mirror. So I'm playing Magnified and stuff like this. And I also, got a good bit of currency currently going. It's fine. Okay, let's talk about the actual skill tree. And this is pretty straightforward. This is your Ascendancy. You go this way down to Force of Will and Constant Gale, also with Strike Twice and Sorcering Winds. I don't talk about which this do exactly. You can just press Alt on your keyboard, hover over it, and read it by yourself. It basically gives you more damage. This is all what you need. And the good thing is Arcane Search. It's a quick text. You get more cast speed and more mana regeneration. And down here, for every 50 mana you gain 1% increased effect of your Arcane Search. And you can do the math. If you have like 4,000 mana than me, or 5,000, it's just infinity scaling damage that you can gain over here. So, and then for the build, if you're starting, you want to take the left path. So if you're new and playing the campaign, you take the left path, and also in the late, you just want to play the left path because it's not worth it. This is such troll. You don't need this. It's nothing. It's like 300 energy shield, and you lose like 4k of damage. It's so not worth it. So please don't go the right path. Go the left path over here and take your cast speed and your mana regeneration, and also the intelligence and increase maximum energy shield. Then go over here, take all of these nodes and all of these nodes here. And this is something you want to skill around level 50 or 60. You don't need it in the early game so much. In the early game, you want to go straight up for the damage and also for the late game. Yes, then you also want to pick up these nodes because you can get increased maximum mana. Then it's pretty straightforward. If you start leveling, you go up and then you turn right and then you go up here. Then you go up, then you turn right, and then you go up here if you're starting. If you're hitting maps or something like this, you want to expand your tree like mine. So you want to have these nodes over here, the pathing, also this, and then you want these two wheels over here because it gives you increased skill effect duration. It basically says that your sparks will travel longer over the screen and will live longer. This is pretty great. And then you have increased projectile speed. It says what it does. Perfect. And then you see like this big nodes, and this is where the build really comes alive. But you have to be careful. First of all, you can only turn on Eldritch Battery. Oh, I'm sorry. You can only turn on Eldritch Battery when you have like the amulet, because for the leveling, for the first leveling part and stuff like this, it's better for you to have like the energy shield and the life, because the life flask regenerates your more life than your mana flask. And if you're struggling with dying, you shouldn't turn this on too early. Same as CI, because we make ourselves chaos immune, but we became one life. This is the build, but it's pretty worth it because chaos damage in PoE, it's the baddest and the hardest damage resource we have to deal with, and also get on the gear. It's high expensive, and to get immune to it, it's so OP. And also, you want this angle over here. This is like the next thing. You want to be here around level 70 or so, or 60, depends on what your pathing is, because you have to imagine it's more maximum damage. And in PoE, you have increased damage and you have more damage. And when you have 100% damage and you get 10% increased damage, and you have 110% increased damage. So on the next choice, you could decide between 10% increased or 10% more. And more damage is always applied at the very end. So it says 10% of 110% and not adds 10%. So it's always better to have more maximum damage than increased maximum damage. Yeah, this is making sense for sure. And yes, this is pretty important. And then when you have like the amulet I showed, the Azure amulet, and have like about 2,000 maximum mana and like 2,500 energy shield to 3,000, you can just go and click the button over here. All damage is taken from mana before life, and you get less recovery rate. This is fine. You want this, and this. So when you hit like level 80 or so, and you invested like 1 to 2 divines into your build, or even like 100 exalt, just imagine, big thing for your gear. I forgot. You always want to prioritize high energy shield on your gear. I forgot that. I'm sorry. If someone flamed me earlier to not saying that energy shield is important, I said it's a not non-edit video. I will just talk through, and I forgot it. Sorry, but yeah, energy shield is pretty good because yeah, you convert it into mana, and this shield here will increase with when you put nodes into this increase maximum energy shield, then your energy shield will go up. Oh, I changed my weapon. I didn't want that. Then your energy shield will go up, but all the energy shield you also gain will convert into mana. It's a bit confusing, but it makes sense in the end, and that's what important. And also, yeah, I'm 93 currently level, and yeah, Mine of Matter, Eldritch Battery, and Chaos. I just call it CI. Is the build you want to run at a certain point when you hit like the Azure Amulet, and yeah, like all pieces have energy shield on, and you have like some resistance and cast speed, all the things going. So don't expect the build is working without a little bit of invest, but you can make it work. I told you in the beginning of the video which stat you should prioritize on your gear, and then you can search it by your own. Also, for the jewels you want to use, you want to look for increased spell damage, increased cast speed. Also, oh, this one is pretty bad. I can get a new one. I can show you another one. This one, you can get spell damage, increased maximum energy shield, and cast speed. This is pretty important and pretty expensive as well. Also, like here, you can get increased spell damage, critical hit chance, increased cast speed, and increased Eldritch Shield from Equipped Focus. It's also good, Energy Shield from Equipped Focus, because no, maybe this is not the best because it has a critical hit chance, and if you're running Lightning Rod, you want to have like 0% crit chance to always get the highest output of it. But I'm also in the state where I want to upgrade my gear, but it's working. It's working pretty fine. And also you want to have like increased skill effect duration because it's the same like this. Yeah, it's the same like this. And you see like my sparks are running for like yeah, like ever on the screen, and are also pretty fast. And this is something I want to min-max as next. Also, I want to get the belt I talked about earlier. Yeah, I showed you the Ascendancy, I showed you the skill points, I told you what to look for on the gear to actually make it work. And then, yeah, you have to be, what I have to say at last. You have to get a bit of a special play style, I call it, because you don't want to do like this, where you just hold down the button and just press the V button and walk like this. You want to do like this, because look at me. I'm casting all the time, but it's not even looking that I'm standing still. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. Not losing a lot of momentum, and this is pretty important. You want to rapid fire your skills so you keep up the speed and actually be faster and also able to dodge. Because when I do this, I cannot dodge fast. But if I do this, look, my movement is way better, and I also have like also close to the same cast speed. You also can try to click a bit faster, like this. You have to get the right sweet spot to do this. And meanwhile, that you also want to use your Orb of Storm to cast through it, and also your Flame Wall. This is pretty important that you always put this down. Like in this movement pattern, you always place this down and then do this. And you're kiting a lot of the time back because sometimes the packs are a bit strong. And currently, I'm sitting on like 45,000 damage, 900. It's close to 55, and it's From time to time, it's a little bit hard, but on the time I just one shot and just cleared the whole freaking map. I will upload a video me walking a map with this build, and I can show you my playstyle. And it's pretty good. I like it pretty much. And it's working, and it drops me a lot of currency and stuff like this. And I hope you enjoyed the video and probably try out the build. Yeah, thanks for joining. And if you come to this point and watch like 25 minutes talking me, and I said, yeah, I want to be quick. Yeah, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks so much for joining in. And yeah, I finished this with a 10 divine trade. See ya and have a good time. Thanks.